tested negative within the last 24 hours. And then it's, you know, with music, it comes with the freedom here in the United States. It comes with responsibility, and you need to wear a mask. And it's unbelievable. For me, I keep on buying music, but seeing seeing someone live show, and I know these tracks, and I know the order, the set list. Seeing a band playing live and there you the crowd is unbelievable. It's like it's beautiful. I don't know how to say. It gives me a lot of satisfaction, you know. And so feel free to elaborate. And I think the first soundtrack you guys put together was that Ambush of Ghost, right, in 1993, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
What you were hired by like a producer to the release a soundtrack, to create the music for that?
Yeah, we were commissioned to do it. It came about because I think it was the film's producer, or the film's producer was walking around Tower Records in Los Angeles, and ours was one of the records that he picked up. It looked interesting cover, so I think it was a copy of the album Sense, and it was from that he contacted us to do the full score for the film. But it's been, I mean, it was a great experience. The music supervisor came over to the UK to help us do it and gave us lots of tips, you know, how we could improve it. We brought it out as a soundtrack, but the film's never got released. It's really frustrating. And it never will. So I think if it had come out, I think we probably would have got a lot more work, but it doesn't matter. We enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
And we got work out of the music supervisor, so a lot of theatrical trailers. Yeah, but it's very unusual for a film never to get released.
Well, I wonder why. Maybe they lost funding, or I don't know.
There was a stipulation from one of the I think screenwriter, that if he didn't like it, if he had to approve it being released, and he's never approved it.
Wow, very interesting, though, right? Man, your music has been on use on several soundtrack, trailer, that sort of thing. There gotta be a good feeling, though, right? Looking back 40 years later, that you got it okay, you know.
Yeah, no, it's been all right. It's just that it would be nice to maybe done a few more low budget Hollywood features. Besides releasing your music, is something that you would like to do? Keep on, composing film score and go into that particular area, if you will? Yeah, we would. Yeah, always open to new ideas. So yeah. Which I think is why we do things like the album The Calling. We worked with an author to do a piece of music which we felt would accompany somebody reading his books. He did a series of books about a crime investigator with a forensic angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Calling for me is one of my favorite albums anyway.
Yeah, gotcha. Feel free to the album that I listened to the last 3 days, about 10 to 15 different albums for you guys, and Bandcamp and Spotify, and some that I own, and I rediscovered again the 1961 album, and it's a very good album. I really like it. Feel free to. All my questions are sort of open-ended, so feel free to elaborate on how that came together and what was the process of making that particular album. And I think I see a picture behind you, right on the wall there, like the car and the.
Yeah, so like we said, all our albums, all our music really has to have a reason, or a reason for being, really, and a source of inspiration. And that was around events of 1961, because that's the year we were born. So that picture in the background is a picture of us, who were born in 1961, inside a car which was made in 1961 in front of a quite famous block of flats in Sheffield called Park Hill, which was built in 1961. So also,
wow, no, I didn't know that. What a, yeah.
So yeah, all the tracks have sort of references to books or organizations that were started.
Space launch of Gagarin, that was in 61. Yeah, the Berlin Wall was built. And so we found those key events linking to the album, which made it more interesting to sort of sit and write pieces, I guess. Yeah, that was what, 4 years ago? A bit more than that, isn't it?
It was 4 years, 2017, the album that came out.
Yeah, it's a very, very good album. Nowadays, many bands, great band, they play for a while, they split up, they got together, they split up. In your case, since you've been twins and have been ever a point in your life that man, I don't want to see you anymore. We don't get along. Or, I mean, of course, there's always friction in family, but you guys in many ways understand with one another. It's any in your point in life, any problem or controversy or trying to break up, and not as a family, of course, you can know that, but as a music group, or you wanted to bring someone else and you don't like the stuff and I don't like the track, you guys still get along very well and fight like normal people.
I think the easiest way to work it is that if we both agree on something, then we do it, and then if we both don't agree on it, then it's not taken any further. That's probably the simplest way of keeping it going, and it's yeah.
Good. Looking back at your musical career, what moment, if you think, are special to you? Any regrets or things you would have changed now after that many albums and 40 years playing, creating great music?
No regrets. No. No, it's just difficult just thinking back.
Well, things perhaps that you would have a little bit done differently, or records being produced different by a different producer, but on your case, since you are self-released, you have more control of what you do.
Yeah, so I suppose looking back, if we were under pressure from record label, not under pressure, but they suggested we never bring out singles. So when we brought out some remixes of Hallucinations, and that's probably something we shouldn't have done because it wasn't really what we were about. It was another producer doing those remixes. So
yeah, I was thinking that as well.
That's only one minor little blip in 40 years.
You guys have a large back catalog, so when you tour, and I don't know if you plan on tour next year, but how you pick, I don't know, you say the two of you get together, say we want to pick our 15 songs or whatever those happens to be, how you go about deciding what to play live, and which is very different from when you play live, the film score that you have produced for Silences.
Yeah, I think we know which tracks work well live, and it's always good to incorporate some new ones from recent albums. So I think that's how we bring together a set. So, but we also have certain favourites which just go down so well live. So it's usually percussion-based tracks which we play live. In fact, it's 100% percussion-based.
Yeah, and Nigel's playing bass live a lot more, which is great. We still use David, our drummer, who drums on recordings and also plays live with us. And then there's Dolores, who sings with us when we play live. So we do gear the set around the 4 band members. That's the best way of what we do.
Yeah. I want to mention a couple of tracks and feel free to elaborate on those. What can you tell me about? What can you tell me about the? I'm sorry. Until, Before, After, from the album 1961. How did composition come together? If you can remember.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that a lot of the tracks will come out of like a sort of held note, a drone. And I got a feeling that one came out of a drone, which I started playing a bass line against. So it's quite slow. It's quite a slow tempo and very slow drum beat as well. But I think that gives it its character. Yeah, that's the opening track on the album, and I don't know if it's that reason, but it gets an awful lot of plays on Spotify. I don't know what much more to say about that, really.
What about, I think, your number one? I think it still is the best. The music has been played the most in Spotify. Is the "Love Will Tear Us Apart" from the album "Cause and Effect" that came out in 2002, right? So that was 20 years later. Do you ever thought that it will be a success? 20 years later, or so when you guys?
No, I mean, obviously it's a great track, original track. And the only reason we did it is because we were bringing out the album of remixes by other people of our music. And we thought, well, okay, we'll do one ourselves of somebody else's music. I don't know why we chose that track.
No, I'm not sure.
But we wanted to do an orchestral interpretation, slow it down. But it's probably one of the hardest tracks to sing on. Just because you'd record the vocal and then the intonations in the phrases, you need to be spot on, otherwise it just sounds weird. And in the end, it's a combination of both our voices.
Yeah,
I think we did separate takes and then combined them, so it's both of us singing the words, which seemed to work.
And I think when we recorded it at our studio, which, to be honest, wasn't the best technique, was it?
It was like a bedroom studio. Yeah.
And we only really had one microphone, which we used. And we used that for the voice, which probably, in hindsight, wasn't the best. And we hadn't really got knowledge of recording properly ourselves at home in our own studio. So, yes, it's amazing that it's come out like it has really, because you would have thought you'd have to go into a proper studio to get that.
Yeah, it's a great track, and I have listened to that particular song, I don't know, 100 or 500 times or whatever. And so it's
say it spiked. I think Nigel mentioned that it spiked in South America somewhere. Is that right?
At one period, yeah, there's just a huge spike. Maybe a radio station was playing it a lot and people were listening to it. I don't know, but yeah, it is a high listening one on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. And so what's your, in Spotify, right? You guys need to be, to make $5 a month. You need to have a million listener or whatever. I don't know which percentage you get paid, which is fair, right? On Bandcamp, I think they only take 10% and you make the other 90%. But so yeah, feel free to.
On Spotify, people theoretically pay to stream. On Bandcamp, you don't really get paid for the streaming. You get paid for the download.
Yeah.
But to be honest, Spotify, we don't have massive thousands of listeners per month.
Yeah.
Like other people, but the money gets collected for in America and then comes back via a collecting agency in the UK. And it's not great, but it's not too bad. I think it helps because we don't have a record label then taking their cut. So it comes what there is comes direct to us.
Oh, yeah. You and for your from with respect to Bandcamp, most of the audience base end up buying only digital format or CDs or soundtrack. I don't know if you offer any vinyl at all on Bandcamp.
There's no vinyl, no. I mean, it's physical CDs and special editions in tins, which has worked really well, and it's really good to see. You feel like you're interacting with the people who like your music more. I mean, it's completely different to Spotify. I mean, Spotify is quite
faceless, really.
Yeah, you've no idea what, but you can have a fan base with Bandcamp, and we found it really good.
Yeah, I got you. For me, at least, Spotify is great because they give me the ability to discover new band, new music, name that I never heard before. Based on the music that you like, you may want to listen to whatever XYZ bands, and it's a very great way to explore new music. And I like a lot of music, but I'm always looking for new music, new musician, new ways to play music, new soundtrack. I have about film score about at least 500, and mostly in the genre of dark electronics related, science fiction type of film, the David Lynch type of film, the Werner Herzog type of film in Germany, and it's for me, it's I think you play like $10 a month here and for Spotify in United States, and you can listen to a lot of great bands. So it's a great mechanism to listen to your music. Do you guys miss touring and then playing live music? Now you've been at home for whatever, 18 months or so.
I can't say I've missed it too much. No, if I'm honest. It's a lot of work involved in the band out in Europe, and you enjoy doing it, but sometimes it's nice just to spend a bit of time in the studio. Yeah. I'm sure it'd be good to get out live again eventually. I'm not missing it.
Are you guys planning on playing live again next year, or any gigs coming up, or any project that to play live, either your music, or playing live your best hits, or playing the film score in a theater like you did before?
To be perfectly honest, we're not making any plans, basically because we haven't really had promoters coming to us. I think they're still unsure about what when it would be. I mean, people are arranging tours in Europe in next year, but it's still uncertain. Everything keeps being pushed back. No, it's a strange one.
Well,
I can't say we've got anything lined up.
Well, hopefully,
yes.
With the new album, you have a new album coming up, and so it will be way too easy for me to say. I don't know the process of, having a tour manager, arrange it. It's a lot of work. I pay money and I go to see a gig somewhere. I have no idea how the stuff came together. Whether the musicians are tired or not, where they came from going after. I pay money and see them, and it's a great way. And I can never, I can never see you live, and I would love one day, hopefully, you tour and have the opportunity to meet you guys, and then have a beer after the show, or playing, seeing you live. It gave me a lot of satisfaction. I can own the 50 records that you have or whatever, but seeing a band live, it's no way to describe to me. You see, knowing the track and then seeing a band live, it's great. Yeah.
Mm. Well, like Nigel said, there's more possibility of us playing America than there is Europe. It seems.
Yeah. Hopefully things will work out, and as I say, here in the Washington D.C. area, and in California, where it's a lot of, it's a lot of people that like soundtracks and film more than here will be a good city to play them. But hopefully we'll have the opportunity to see you guys. I have only 2 questions left, and then so what you guys do for fun that no music related? Any, you like soccer, you like football, any hobbies that you with no music related? Moving, well, going to movies probably, suppose.
I think a lot of the sort of hobbies and side projects are inevitably music related. I mean, I like reading good music books about, music biographies. I like field recording and sound design, so I like going out recording interesting natural sounds.
Yep.
And I'm also involved with a music and film festival called Sensoria in Sheffield. It's an annual film festival. So I do a lot of that outside of working with ITN.
I got you. So, feel free to elaborate where, mention your website and your Bandcamp website, so our listener can go ahead and buy your music. And feel free to mention the names where they can buy your music.
Google, isn't it? On Bandcamp, just search In the Nursery, and innenursery.com is the main website.
I got you. Yeah. Well, that was my last question, guys. Thank you very much for spending time this afternoon for you guys, this morning for me, and it was very nice talking to you. I love your music. I've been following you guys for 30, 20, 25 something years, and I love the stuff. And I mentioned recently that I end up purchasing. I want to get more stuff so I can play more of your music on the radio, and I will send you a direct link in the next half an hour about the interview, and hopefully one day we'll have the opportunity to meet you guys and have a bite to eat or see you play live. It would be great.
Great. No, thank you very much. Yeah, and we'll send you a copy of the album when it's finally released, which is soon,
early next year. Yeah, all details for the new album will be announced shortly. We can't really talk about it at the moment, but
sure, I understand.
The news will be out there soon. So.
All right, great. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great afternoon and enjoy your week. Thank you.
Thanks.
No problem.